Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rae, and you can call me Rae for short. If you are new on this channel, welcome. I create content about design, lifestyle, and I also share some career tips that will help you grow as an individual. So in case you are wondering why we have like a different background from my usual background when I record videos, so basically this is my second workspace, or home office basically. So I'm currently in Ilorin visiting my parents, and my other workspace is my house where I stay in Lagos. So get used to this environment, because this is where I'll be shooting some of the videos I'll be posting in the next couple of weeks. So that I'm visiting basically. Welcome back to my channel. Like I said, today we'll be discussing a topic around managing school with your tech career or with a tech career. So lately I've been getting a lot of messages from students that just resumed back to school about how they can manage their tech career and their school life. So why is this question something that people are asking? So at the moment, ASU just recently called off the strike, which has been running for the last few months, like almost a year now. ASU has been on strike, and most students, or some students that I know, they've ventured into tech, and now that ASU is off, the strike is off, they are finding it a bit challenging how to manage their tech career and also their school, so that none of them lack in any way. So because when I was in school, I was also working as a product designer. So people some people that know me have been reaching out to ask me how I managed school and working as a designer, or being in tech basically. So let me just give a little background story about my experience working as a designer and also juggling it with my school. It wasn't easy because I had to work at some point and also focus on school. So the truth is, let me just be honest, the truth is there's no real balance between those two, because nobody is you're not a god, so you can't literally say you want to balance the two and then you will say that, oh, I will read, the amount of book that I'm going to read is also the amount of energy that I'm going to give to my tech career. To be honest, we all know that the tech career is more important, because when we think about the end goal of school is to later have a career where you have a job, and with tech you can easily get a job, but not necessarily with the school. So not necessarily that you get a job with the course that you studied in school. For myself, I studied computer engineering, but I don't think I'm actually doing anything that involves computer engineering at the moment. Mostly what I'm doing is product design, though design is still an aspect of engineering, so it's still part of the process. But product design is still majorly software design. Like I said, there's no real balance, but you just have to know how to manage it. So knowing how to manage is what I'll be talking about, how to manage both your tech career and also your school, so that you can finish school with a good grade, and also maybe you don't finish with a good grade, but at least not to spill, and also have a career as a tech person. So I'll be listing out some of these tips that helped me while I was in school basically. So the truth is that some of these tips might sound ideal and not so realistic, but I think if we try to put a lot of effort into it, I think it's something that is achievable. I'll be honest, I wouldn't say that most of the tips I'll be sharing right now are things that I do all the time when I was in school, but there are some of the things that I practiced that eventually worked for me. So I think towards the ending of my stay in school, when I was in 500 level, there was COVID break, which was back in 2020, and that was when I was very serious with my product design career. And now at the time when we resumed back to school after COVID, after the pandemic break, I already had a job as a product designer in Softcom. So when I resumed back to school, it was a bit weird, and I was in my final year, also working on my project, and yeah, it was not easy, especially when your mind is not there again. For me, when I started my tech career, especially when I got a job, like school was totally out of my mind. Like I didn't want to do school again. Like if it was possible at the time, I would have loved to just drop out and just focus on my tech career, because I mean, I know that is my future. So, but like the truth is, we still don't want to like neglect school and say we don't need the certificate. Who knows? Like nobody knows tomorrow. Nobody know where you'll be. Nobody know the opportunities that will come your way. That you just need to show that, oh, like I studied computer engineering in school, or like where you would eventually probably apply the knowledge that you have as a computer engineer. So I would never advise anybody that school is calm. Don't do school. Don't excel in school. No, I would never advise anybody to have that mindset. Just have the mindset that it's something that you need to do and you need to excel at it, and it's something you do once and for all, except for if you have plans to go and further your education, to go for masters and PhD or whatever. Some of the tips that we're mentioning now are those things that actually helped me to manage to the two together. So the first thing I would say is, one, know yourself. Like, know the kind of person you are. Are you like a night person, or are you a morning person? Are you somebody that when you're in class, if you listen, you will understand or you grab what the lecturer is saying? Or are you someone that you need to go back home or go back to your hostel to read and read again before you understand? Just know yourself. Know what works for you first. Then the next thing you want to do is write down goals. Like, write down your goal for the year, like for the semester. What do you want to achieve at the end of the semester? Or I want to have or I don't want to I don't want to carry over a course. Just write down high level goals that you want to achieve, both school wise and also tech wise. So write those high level goals that you want to achieve in your tech career and also in school. Then the next thing you want to do is break down those goals into achievable bits. Break it down to like bits, things that are achievable. So they are high level, so they are not something that you can just do once and you achieve them. So you have to work towards it. So it's a process, right? So you have to break those goals into smaller bits. So for example, if you want to probably learn JavaScript, or you want to learn how to do user research at the end of the semester, you have to break the goal into like, okay, maybe reach out to somebody to get resources that you need to read or watch to learn it, or something like that. If it is like to learn something in school, or to get probably, hey, what do you need to do? Maybe dedicate extra time to a particular course that that you don't know so well. So just break down those high level goals into achievable bits. Then the next thing you want to do is create like 2 hours out of your 24 hours every day to read like your book. So for example, in school, every day you would have lectures, except for days that you don't have lectures. But there's possibility that you have lecture every day. So every day, whatever you are being taught in school, make sure you take time, like 2 hours every day, to like go over it, just to read it. So like I said, know yourself. If you are somebody that if you listen in class, you can easily grab whatever they've taught you. If you are somebody that you need to go back and check it and read, someone like me, I struggle a lot with grasping things easily. So after most times I don't listen in class, I'll be honest. So after even listening in class, I'll have to go back to my hostel to read, or even get extra help from my friend to explain to me. So if you need to do all those things, just make sure you take time to go through whatever you have been taught every day, because I think if you are able to do that, those things will not pile up at the end of the day when it's time for exam. Then you have like a lot to read. And I feel like even if you forget, even though you've gone through it, if at the end of like the semester and you are preparing for exam, it will be much easier because you understand it the first time. So when you go back, it will just be as if you are revising. So those are the things that I need to do. Also, that 2 hours. So take 2 hours for school and also take 2 hours for your tech career. So that is for somebody that is still trying, like a newbie that is still learning. For somebody that is working, you just have to make it work. So I remember back then when I was in school, I would have like AirPod in my ear to attend stand-up at work. So I would attend stand-up at work. just to like, make sure that, none, because I'm in school, it is not affecting work also, because nobody wants to employ somebody that will not be, that will not be efficient basically. So, and I don't want to show that because I'm in school I won't be efficient. I mean, they are paying me, so I have to like, give them the value of what they are paying me for. So I have to just look for a way to make it work. So what I did was basically I would listen in class, then later in the evening I'll spend it to work on my tasks, my day, my job as a designer. I'll use my time in the evening, and if there's a break between like lectures, I will use it to work on design and all. So spend time, the way you are taking 2 hours out of your 24 hours to read, also take 2 hours or 4 hours to do your tech also, just to make sure as you are doing this, you are doing that also, because it is very important, and you don't want to, take, like, because you are in school, you just want to leave your tech career and then come back to it. When you come back to it, trust me, it is always harder, because I can relate to that. So it is always harder because you left it, so it's going to be as if you are starting all over again, and sometimes it can be very frustrating, especially when you see things that you know before that you don't know again. So yeah, don't leave it. So if you are spending time with reading your like normal school book, also spend time to learn something new in your tech career, whether it is reading an article or maybe practicing a design. Or so for somebody that is working, you have to look for time that would work, whether it is middle of lectures that you don't have to go and sit down with friends to gist. That time that you spend to gist with friends, just use it to like quickly work on your day tasks and finish up with it. So yeah, those are the things that I did back then. Another thing is that be intentional about what you want to do, what you want to achieve. Apart from the fact that you set up goals, you have to be intentional. So I think one thing that I also did back then was be intentional about the time you spend on social media. Social media is a thief of time. I'm not sure if that word is correct, but yeah, it's like social media, they basically steal your time away. Sometimes when I press my phone, I get destabilized and I forget everything that I want to do for that day. So be intentional. So some of the things I can do that will help you to be intentional about the time you spend on social media or the time you spend on your phone is to set time limits. For example, now on my Twitter, I set my Twitter account, my Twitter app, so that after 3 hours every day, I can only spend 3 hours on my Twitter page every day. I mean, sometimes I do ignore the warning. So after spending 3 hours, I'll get alerted that you have 5 more minutes to spend on Twitter for today. Then I will know that, oh, okay, I've spent 3 hours, 3 whole hours. Not to talk of sometimes when you check, I know that I've spent 7 hours, 8 hours on Twitter, that I will see when I check my like activity on the app. So be intentional about the time you spend on social media. You be intentional about the time you spend doing things that are not related to your career, your tech career, or not related to school. I'm not saying you should not, you should not relax, but just be intentional about the time you spend, so how to, like, when you're spending 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours doing something that is not relevant, when to caution yourself that, okay, I need to leave this thing and quickly maybe do something that is relating to work, or do something that is relating to school. Another thing you need to also do is to learn to prioritize and be flexible. So like I said, these things are not these things I'm listing out are not linear. They are something that can change. So be flexible with your time. So in case if like in the morning you spend, maybe in between the day you already spend time working, just know that your night should be to read, like what you've been taught in school. So just be flexible basically. Don't be rigid. Don't say, oh, because I've not done this, I can't do this. Just be flexible with your time. I think it's something I also struggle with back then, because even now, if I don't finish something, I find it very difficult to move to something else. So for example, if I'm battling with a design problem, I find it difficult to leave it and move to, maybe, let's say, open my book and start reading, because once I open my book and start reading, I would be thinking about the problem, the unsolved problem. So, but Another advice is just look for a way to be flexible with your time. Don't be rigid. Don't say you have to finish this thing, and if you don't finish it, you cannot start something else. No, it doesn't work that way. Sometimes even when you leave something and you do something else, that thing that you are struggling with, the idea will come to you. It will probably be because the reason why you were struggling is because your brain is stressed and you just need to quickly to do something refreshing, like reading a book or something. So yeah, another thing is also take care of your health. Eat properly, sleep properly. I know it is not easy to do all these things as a student. In fact, I can count the number of times that I cooked when I was in school. I can count the number of times that I actually sometimes slept on my bed, during the period when I was working on my school project. But those things are actually very, very important. Even though it was difficult, but it is very important to eat and sleep, because they are one of the most important things that we need or we require to survive as human. And when you have those things, you are well rested and you've eaten, your brain will be sharp to think or to work, and your brain will be very fresh, and fresh ideas will come to your head. You would assimilate easily. But when you're tired, you're hungry, you're not eating properly, you're not sleeping properly, it would definitely affect your mental health. So I would definitely advise you to make sure that you sleep and you rest properly, you eat well. I know it's not easy to do all these things, but just have to be intentional about it. Even if it is 4 to 3 hours sleep, it will do something compared to not sleeping at all. Because I know a lot of people that would do because I've done it before also, where you won't sleep overnight and then you go to class and you're expecting to even listen to the lecturer. It's not even possible. So yeah, take breaks, sleep. And another thing I would like to also mention is celebrate small wins. No matter how small they are very, very tangible. If you're able to accomplish something, celebrate it. Let's say, for example, you're able to do a test, and then you from the test, when you work on the test, you can tell that you've done so well, you're able to answer questions. Celebrate the small win. Take yourself out. If you don't have the money, take yourself out. Yeah, maybe take a day off, sleep or watch movie, anything. Just celebrate the small win. If you're able to work on a book or you design something, and then maybe your boss or the person that you're working with tell you they like it, celebrate it. Maybe eat, go to buy item 7 or something. Just take care of yourself and celebrate the small win. Keep yourself, the little you can, just keep yourself happy and put yourself in the right state of mind, so that you can easily work and also read, because it is a lot of pressure trying to balance the two, both the school and work. But you just have to make sure you are in the right state of mind, so that you can always push forward and make the right decisions at every time. Like I said, be very flexible with your decisions. So yeah, but you can only do this when you're in the right state of mind, you are healthy, you are well rested, you're not tired. I think those are the things that I want to share. Like I said, these things may sound very ideal, and it's not necessary that you have to do everything, but I just hope you get to pick something from this video, and then you try to put it or add it to your work, to your routine. And yeah, I would definitely love to hear your feedback, your thoughts. If there's some things that I didn't mention in this video, please kindly drop it in the comment section. I would definitely really appreciate it, and I always make sure that I respond to all my YouTube comments. So yeah, don't be afraid to drop your comments. If you have any question regarding this video, please drop it. If you have any requests or anything at all, just let me know. Just drop it in the comment section and I will respond to it. I think we've come to the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I hope you've been able to learn or benefit from this video. Don't forget to share this video with your friends, like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and yeah, I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.